Welcome everyone to class 13 of our FastAPI course. In this class, you will not just learn how to build APIs. You will also learn how to control your API responses, make them safe, and apply field validation. These concepts are extremely important in real-world APIs, like making sure price is never negative, hiding sensitive fields like password, sending clean responses back to front end. You will master this today and also cover one interview question, a scenario based question, and the assignment for your practice. Let's go step by step. Agenda of today's class is response models and field validation in FastAPI using Pydantic. So first of all, what is a response model? Sometimes we don't want to return the full input from the client. We only want to return specific field for security or clarity. Response model help control what goes back to the front end. So what is response model? Sometimes we want to return the full input from the client. We don't want to return the full input from the client. We only want to return specific field due to security or clarity. So the response model help control what goes back to the front end. Let me create a response model from FastAPI. Import FastAPI from Pydantic. I am going to import base model. After that, creating an instance for our FastAPI. Then I am going to create a model with name user in, and this will be inherit from base model. And in this model I am going to use three fields. First one is name, another one is password, and this will be also string data type, and the email also string. After that, so this is the input model for input and I am going to create one model for output, the class and user out base model, and I just want to return what? Name and email, not the password. Email. I hope this will make sense for you. After that, I am going to create one route here, app with method post. Here, user response model equal to user out def create user, and this will take user and user in. After that, I have to return something. I am going to return just user. Let me explain all my code, what I write here for you. From FastAPI, I am importing the FastAPI and Pydantic. On this line, I am importing FastAPI, and this line from Pydantic, I am importing base model. Why base model? The base model is used in FastAPI to define schemas. Here, class user in, this is what the client sends input. It includes password. Here you will see This is the model for input. From the front-end side, our API will accept these data: name, password, and email. And when user will send some data on our route user, then we will resend some data to the user. That time, this is what we will return output. We remove password for safety. After that, here on this line, this tells FastAPI only send user out feeds in the response. Only sends user out feeds in the response. And after that, in this, the function create user, we return the input user object. As you see, whenever the user will send request to this route, this function will call. When this function will call, when we are returning the input user object. But here the FastAPI only returns name and email to client due to this user out response underscore model user out. Only we will send the user data with just user name and email. I have tested this endpoint UVCon. I have to run my FastAPI app. UVCon class 13 app reload. Our app is running on this IP address and the port is 8000. And when I follow this link, I am getting detail not found. And if I visit these docs, the Swagger documentation is open for me, the FastAPI. So this is the documentation of FastAPI, Swagger documentation, which FastAPI providing us to test our APIs. So we have to pass the username, let's say Ahmad, and user in is required. Let me check my code. Here we have to provide the colon, not save this. Let me refresh this and require the name, password, and email. Try it out. We have to put the name. I am passing the name Aman and the password, let's say pass @123, the strong password with 8 character, and email ahmad@gmail.com. And let me execute this, and if I see the response, I am getting status 200, means our request is sent to the backend successfully and we are getting 200, and we are getting the response only the name and the email, not the password. And we are providing password, but we are not getting in the response password due to security. I hope this will make sense for you. And this is the best practice. Just only send the name or email. Don't show the password and things. And the second topic of today's session is field validation using Pydantic. We can also apply rules like price must be greater than 0, email must be a valid email, name must not be too short. So let me apply this in my code, how we will apply the validation. To apply validation, first of all, I am going to import from FastAPI the field email from Pydantic, not from FastAPI. I'm going to import here email string. I import the field and email string from Pydantic model. After that, I'm going to create another route app.post, this for the product, product, and we have to define one response model for the product here. Model for input product, class product in, and I am inherit this from base model. Let me correct the class spelling. Inside this model we want name, string data type, price, float, cost price, float, admin nodes string, and I want some response for this model for output product, class product out base model, name string, and price float. And in my route here I want to return the data on the base of response model which I create for product out. After that, def create product, and p product in return p. Save this, and if I refresh this, I'm getting the create product route here as well in Swagger documentation of FastAPI. Let me try this. The product name is smartphone, price is 1500, cost price is 1200, and admin underscore nodes launch after keep hidden. Let me execute this. I'm getting 200 and the response body, the name of the product and the price. So till now we not implement the validation. Now it's time to apply validation on this. For name I am going to apply the field min underscore length will be min length equal to 3. The product name minimum length will be 3 character, and this field is required. And for price field price should be greater than 0, not the negative. And I am going to add another field, email, for product, and email string not the string. Let me save this, and if I refresh this, try it out, here you see we need name, price, cost price, admin nodes, and email. Email should be like this, not something else. This is the pattern for email. Email should be like this. So let me explain this, what I did here. On name, the default, the data type will be name is string, and field min underscore length equal to 3. Name must be at least 3 characters. So this tells the FastAPI automatically check the name should be minimum length will be 3, not less than 3. And after that, for the price, float, data type, and the field, price must be greater than 0, GT means greater than 0, and the email string validates that input is real email, not fake or invalid formats allowed. So let me test this in my Swagger documentation. Name will be, so I update my data. Name is smartphone, price is 1500, cost price is 1200. I am going to change this price to negative and the name smartphone, and admin notes is same like the previous one, and the email is email. Let me execute this, and if I check this greater than, for what price, input should be greater than 0, and we are providing negative 1500, so the price should be greater than 0, and value error for the email. Value is not a valid email address, and email address must be have an @ sign. So this is the beauty of FastAPI, how you will validate data for your uh, in upcoming, which data will come from our front end. So let me change this smartphone to the SM, and the price will be 1500, and email at gmail.com. Let me execute this, and if I check the response, 1500 name, and the price is 1500, name will be SM. And here guys, you note one point, why I am getting 200 response if I provide the name less than 3 character. Let me check my code. Here the min underscore length due to typo, let me save this, misspelling, and if I execute this again, and if I see the response, unprocessable entity, string too short, I am getting string too short. String should have at least 3 characters. So for the name, we define here the minimum length for the name of the product is less than, is equal to 3. Minimum length will be 3. So I hope you will clear about how the field validation will work in FastAPI and how the response model is working in FastAPI. So here now it's time for the interview question. What is a response model in FastAPI and why it is important? So we learn what is response model. Response is used to control which fields are returned in an API response. We apply here the response model for the user. A response model is a model used to control which fields are returned in an API response. It improves security. Here in this example, we are hiding the passwords, reduces data overload, and ensures that clients only receive relevant and safe information. I hope this will be clear. And one another question, in an e-commerce API, the admin sends full product data. The admin sends full product data including internal field, like in this case cost underscore price, admin nodes. But we only want the front end to get name, price, description. We handle this. We define a response model for our product, and here we just pass, we are using the response model for product, and when this route will call from the front end, this function will call and this will return this only p. P means we are using product in. The product in response we will send product out, and we are accepting all the data from the front end, and we just pass the product out name and price. So that's why I define here two models, one for the input product in with all fields, one for output with public fields name and price. These are the public field. Then I will use response underscore model will be the product out in the route. This is our route, and we are defining here only send response the product out data. Now it's time for the assignment, the practice task. After learning the form validation and response model in FastAPI, create a FastAPI app with a dependency function check underscore admin that only allows token admin token, a route admin dashboard that uses this check. If token is wrong, raise an error. If correct, return access granted to admin dashboard. So this is the simple task. If you face any difficulty in this assignment, I am here to clear your doubts. I am will be solve your problems. So don't forget to subscribe and like, share with your friends, and don't forget to share this assignment in comment section. Thanks for watching.